Hello, this is Keith Hall and welcome back. Today's tutorial is how we can create a mapping table or lookup table using Power Query within Excel. Now, what do I need by a lookup table or mapping table? Basically, sometimes you have data sets where you have codes and you want to display the full uh, information of what that code is. So for example, in this data set, we have an office location and we have 3-letter designation or 2-letter designation for an office location. And what we would want to see is we want to see the full phrase or full spelling. Now, in this case, CHI would stand for Chicago, NY would be New York, or PHX is going to be Phoenix. And we have the similar information here for a position that the employee holds or what department are they in. So what we want to do is we want to build out some columns here where we look up the code and then we pull back the full phrase or spelling of what that code is. So right now, this is an Excel table. I converted it by selecting my range and doing Control T within Windows, and it created this table. As you can see up here on the top right, it designates that this is a table. Now what we want to do is we want to now go into Power Query, so we could go to Data and then Get Data, and then what it is, it's automatically going to select what you already did. So you could do from table or range. It's going to detect that it was a table, or you could have selected your range. And then it opens up the Power Query window. Now, what you see here is you have a query over here called raw data. The reason why it's called raw data because my Excel table was named that. So now let's go over here. Let's transform this into individual queries. And what I want to do is I want to take this original query. We're going to reference it, okay, by right-clicking it and pulling reference. So basically it creates a copy. Let's rename this query to office location or office listing. So office listing, press enter. Now what we want to do is we want to get rid of all these other columns here and just create a new column, okay, that will have a spelling for an office location. So let's do a right click. This is one way you could do it. Right click, remove other columns, or I could go up to here to home, remove columns, and I would select remove other columns. So basically what that means is if you select a column and you select remove other columns, that means it's going to get rid of all the other columns that are not selected. So that's step number one. Step number two is now we want to remove duplicates in this column. So we could do the same thing. Right click and it says remove duplicates. That's one way. Oops. And then remove duplicates. Okay. So now we got that. Now what we want to do, we want to create a custom column or even a conditional column. So this first example, I'll show you how to create a custom column, and then I'll show you a different way by doing a conditional column. So you go up to add column, click on custom column, and then let's call this uh, let's just call this code. And then I'm going to paste in this if statement. So basically what this is saying, give me a second, is it checks this column. So if this column is equal to CHI, then I'm going to name this column. I'm going to give it Chicago. The same thing here. I just want to get rid of these leading and trailing spaces. Okay. And then once you press OK down here, and of course, if your syntax is correct, it'll say no syntax errors have been detected, so we're okay. So click OK, and now it created this column. So now once we load this back into Excel, we could do like an XLOOKUP or a VLOOKUP and return this value here. So that's one way to create a mapping table. Another way, I'll show you for everything, but let's do a conditional column next. But just for reference, if you come over here to the right, it created a step called add a column. This gear icon tells you that now you could edit this step. So if you click on this, it creates this interface for you. And this is what I mean by either adding a custom column or a conditional column. So on our next step, we're going to go through the process of filling this out itself. So let's cancel out of here. And now let's go back up to our original query, right click, and let's reference it again. And we're going to do the same thing for this. We're going to rename this query to department. Okay, press enter. And now what we want to do is, again, we want to select the department column, this time around. Right click, remove all other columns. Again, we want to remove the duplicates. Right click, remove duplicates. And now we want to create a phrase for all these departments. So instead of adding a custom column, now let's go up to add column, conditional column. And we're going to name this code. And then we're just going to fill this out. So let's move this over here. So if the department column equals, we're going to type in HR, then we're going to want it to spell out human resources. Add an else if department equals SAL, we want this to be sales. Add a clause if department column is equal to FIN, we want this to equal finance. And then an else down here, if it doesn't equal any of this, we want this to equal no. So now let's click OK. So now it created that. So that's the other way. Now what I'll do is I'll create a third one for the position. And I'll go ahead and fast forward to that. And then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now I'm back. So now what I want to do is I want to reload this back into Excel. So we go up here, Home, Close and Load. So what it did, it took all those queries within Power Query and loaded them back into their individual tables within Excel. So we got the position listing, department, office listing, and then plus we have our original query that we reference. So now let's go over here to the right, and I'm just going to do one example. I'm going to choose XLOOKUP. You could also choose VLOOKUP. But let's say you wanted to add a column here. Instead of Chicago, I want it to equal whatever that code references. So equal XLOOKUP, tab over, what's the lookup value? Well, we're trying to look up this value right here. Comma, where can we find this lookup value? So let's go over to the office location listing. And this is the lookup array, okay? And then the third argument, what do we want to return? We want to return this code here. Oops. Okay, and now let's close that out, press enter. And as you can see, it brought back everything. Now you could do the same thing for all your positioning listings and department listing. So that's how you could create a mapping table or a lookup table using Excel and Power Query. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and as always, please like and share this video because this helps this video get out to more people. Thanks again. You have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye now.